Shout out to Fran Duffy, who joins us now on the Ashley Fan Cave, Fran's Film Room.
Fran. Oh.
Fran, how are you? Good to see you.
I mean, after that game, a lot to talk about, but a lot to forget.
Did you think it was that ugly? I thought it was an interesting game. I
thought it was good.
Uh-oh. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a lot of ugly, I felt like, on both sides. But look, an important win, a big win, certainly, for the Eagles, and something hopefully they're able to take some things from this. But certainly not the prettiest win. I honestly, and even if Green Bay pulls that out, you're not feeling great about that either. But
no. I did kind of think they deserved to kick that field goal at the end because of how insane that mismanagement was at the end of the game.
My mind immediately went to Seattle as well, so we were on the same track there. Interesting that DeVonta immediately nipped that in the button. So we're not replaying this from 2023. And making sure that that's out there immediately. That's interesting.
All right, I want to get your thoughts on really everything that happened in this game, but let's start with a positive here, and that was the touchdown pass to DeVonta Smith after the long Saquon Barkley catch and run on a third down. What did you see here? And this was the first ball the Eagles threw downfield the entire game, I believe. And there is something to this offense where sometimes it feels like they have to wait for something to go right to try to do something big. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it was you get that 41-yarder to Saquon off the spin move, and then it's like, all right, now we can go try something. And this was a really well-designed play, and it attacked the coverage in a perfect way. It was really well put together. This is the DeVonta one, guys. So for whoever's cutting back here, so basically
Lindsay's debut in the postgame show.
Lindsay, beautiful. All right, so Lindsay, so basically what we got here is you've got a condensed formation from the Eagles where you see DeVonta Smith on the far right side here, and you've got Jahan Dotson coming in motion. Now, you've got a corner over DeVonta before the snap, before the motion. Jahan Dotson is going to bump outside, and that corner is now going to run with Jahan Dotson. So now you are dictating to the defense the matchup that you want. You've got DeVonta Smith running with free access, a vertical route right at that safety on the hash mark. Lindsay, if we go to the next shot, we're going to see that they also have some play action here. Now, you've got Tank Bigsby in the backfield. It's going to be outside zone action to the left. You've got Dallas Goedert coming on that little slide RPO action back to the right. So you've got two defenders basically in the backfield, and that's basically, it's eye candy for those linebackers underneath, just to kind of hold them there, because this is going to be a two-man route concept from the Eagles. I mentioned DeVonta Smith on the right. You can see A.J. Brown now entering the frame on the left-hand side. Lindsay, if we go to the next shot, you're going to see that A.J. Brown is working vertical up the numbers here, and he's got to make sure that he pushes vertical hard to hold that safety right there in the middle of the field. On the other side, you see DeVonta. He's already one-on-one with that safety. Jaelan has to make sure that safety that's circled there in the middle, that he is coming down to crash on A.J. Brown's route. But that's the read for Jaelan. If this safety is being aggressive to A.J., then you're going over the top to DeVonta Smith. If he is sitting back to take away the deep ball, well, now then you're going to throw this to A.J. Brown, and that's why you want to hold those linebackers underneath to make that throw to A.J. a little bit easier. But you can see that Jaelan, he's got the ability to hit either of these throws. If we go to the next shot here, you're going to see that DeVonta Smith, again, he's working that post route across the middle of the field. The safety is held. Jalen's about to throw this pump fake that's going to hold that safety and even extra beat. And then he cuts this loose. Let's go to the last shot here. And this is just one of the things that DeVonta Smith does so well: the body control, the competitiveness, and then the ability to finish at the catch point. Outstanding job from DeVonta Smith on this play, but really a well-designed play from Kevin Patullo, the offensive staff, and everybody involved. A great play call in that spot.
And it kind of begs the question. And now listen, we talked all week about how the Packers defense has been the best in the NFL at not surrendering explosive plays. So I take that with a huge grain of salt. But why couldn't they take a few other deep shots in this game?
Yeah, until the final. You mean until that final play? Yeah, exactly. It's a good question. It's one of the things that I'll be interested to see on the film tomorrow. Is like, all right, were there plays that were they didn't really necessarily show it on the broadcast that maybe there were guys open down the field. I will be interested to see what that looks like tomorrow morning. But overall, very. I mean, look, they would get into like 3rd and 7, and it's a draw play to Will Shipley. Like they were very, very conservative throughout the entire night. Against the defense. I don't know if this is a Parsons thing. I don't know if this was a hey, we don't want to test that secondary down the field, but it was an extremely, extremely conservative game plan from the Eagles throughout the course of this game.
It has been my pet issue all season long, them running the ball on 3rd and 11 plus. They're now 0 for 12 on the season when they call a designed run there, and they are chasing the modern record for the percentage of times on 3rd and 11 plus when they call a run. So this does not include scrambles. They're like a percentage point below the all-time leader there. It is driving me crazy, I will admit, and I think we can all see it happening as my sanity dissipates. But I don't even know what my question is. I just want to talk about it, and I want to know how you feel about it.
Well, look, what you're forgetting, though, is by filtering that down to just those 3rd and longs, you are forgetting the 2nd and long run by Tank Bigsby.
Run the ball on 2nd and 26 if you need to, and you can pick it up with Tank Bigsby. But, I mean, listen, then they're in the red zone. They get that delay of game, which, by the way, another season-long issue. They can never get the ball snapped on time. They accept that penalty instead of calling timeout to go from 3rd and 7 to 3rd and 12, and then they call a give-up run. So if you can't trust yourself to throw, then waste the timeout, because then you can try to pick up the first down. It's not like they needed those yards for the field goal. It's driving me nuts. And then we can talk about the end of the half stuff, which is even more cowardly, but I don't know. They won the game.
But I mean, both end of half scenarios. And again, you get into like how much of that was Jaelan and AJ drawing that up in the dirt at the end. Either way, I mean, even like the drive before that, I felt like there were just questionable decisions. Using that timeout on offense before just in case, you never know if you're going to need that. There was a chance that they were going to need it. And obviously they did not have that in their back pocket just in case. So yeah, definitely some questionable moves down the stretch that I'm sure Nick Sirianni is being asked about.
Meanwhile, that same drive, 3rd and 12, when they need a first down, a beautiful throw from Jalen Hurts to DeVonta Smith.
Right. I just saw a tweet from our friend Fan Since 09, which kind of encompasses all of this. He said the Eagles have basically locked up the 1 seed, but they're the worst football team I've ever watched in my life, and everyone should be fired and/or cut.
Damn.
Whoa. It's a joke. It's a joke. Fran, I have a little bit of a hot take question for you.
Okay.
Is DeVonta Smith better than A.J. Brown currently? And I know there's context in a quarterback and an offensive system and all that other stuff around him. Is he the better wide receiver?
I mean, he's definitely, to me, he's more explosive and more reliable right now. Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take. I mean, he certainly has been more productive. And honestly, it goes back to even to the second half of last year. I know that's been a thing that's been brought up from fantasy football circles, is like, oh, if you look at the last 12 months, DeVonta has been the more productive part of this Eagles passing attack. So, no, I actually don't think that is that hot of a take.
Ooh, because that 3rd and 12... like, he had like 4 yards of separation. That was filthy just route. Filthy.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's one of the best in the league when it comes to creating separation on his own. He can do it inside. He can do it outside. I talked about what he can do at the catch point. He can get off a jam. I mean, he's as well-rounded a receiver as there is in the NFL. And if he was, 3 inches bigger and 20 pounds heavier, like you'd be talking about him in the same vein as the Jamar Chases and Justin Jeffersons of the world. But just because of that size, that is going to be a limiting factor when you're talking about who's the toughest guy to match up against on a one-on-one basis.
Meanwhile, Fran, we saw the running game seem like it got on track 2 weeks ago against the Giants. In this game, Saquon Barkley, 20 carries for 60 yards, 2.7 yards a carry. That includes a 15-yard run. So those other 19 runs, pretty paltry. What jumped out to you from the TV copy?
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple that came back, due to penalty. There were some nice gains there. I think when you look at it, they were able. I'm going to go through the numbers on this, but after the Lane Johnson injury, they got away from some of the 6-0 line stuff. We saw a couple where they threw in Matt Pryor there, but you didn't really see too many of those snaps. You saw a handful before Lane got hurt where Fred Johnson came on the field. So now, do they want to build the entire boat out of that? Probably not. It's not great that you have to run with those sets if you're going to have any kind of success in the running game. But I mean, that first 15-yard run that Saquon busted off in the first quarter, it was literally the same play, same personnel grouping, same formation as the long touchdown against the Giants 2 weeks ago on his first carry of the day. So I think when you're looking at that's certainly going to be a part of their identity moving forward, as long as everybody's healthy up front. But in this one, I mean, there was just, this was a weird game offensively. It was honestly like they struggled to get anything going. I'm fascinated to see what that looked like on the film. I was expecting that they were going to have more success, especially watching that team a week ago. Carolina manhandled them at the point of attack. I thought that the Eagles would be able to come in and be able to kind of assert their will that way. You made the point earlier this week, I guess it would have been late last week, that how much would Matt LaFleur and that coaching staff challenge the Packers after what happened at the Link in January in terms of just losing the physical edge in that way on both sides of the ball.
Just by the numbers, 37% success rate for the Eagles offense in this game. That's 27th of 30 games, including the playoffs over the last 2 seasons. So, I mean, we knew that it was low. EPA per drive is similar. And yet they did enough to get the W. Let's talk about the other side of the ball, which did a lot more to contribute to the win. And that it was led by the new guy, Jaelan Phillips, who was all over the place and had a big stop on 4th down. What did you see there, Fran?
Yeah, I mean, extremely active. He was a big part of that first sack, the Jalen Hunt sack that knocked Green Bay out of field goal range. They were moving the football and they were really in a rhythm. And then you get that huge sack from Hunt, but that starts with that Jaelan Phillips pressure. That's the thing with pressures, Bo, is that
that was a real pressure.
Pressures are important.
Look, Next Gen Stats had him with 7 pressures. I know that Jamie, you said earlier, was PFF had him for 8, right? So obviously, all the services are going to have.
Yeah, and Roy, who works in the building here, had him for 15.
Either way,
Roy knows
this
ball.
is a guy that was around the football a lot, and it was not just the pass game; it was the run game as well. We'll take a look at the 4th down stop in a bit, but I was impressed with what we saw from Jaelan Phillips. It was interesting. I was fascinated to see what that would look like in terms of like not just the volume of snaps, but also his alignment. I didn't note a ton with him inside, but most of his reps came over the right tackle and Nolan Smith playing over the left tackle. Obviously, we've seen Nolan; he's been more so on the opposite side. So I thought that was an interesting switch here in this game.
Yeah, I think there were a couple with Phillips on the right side, but it was as you said, I would say like 90 to 95% on the left side, and I didn't see him inside at any point in this game. There were a couple, games where he was coming inside. But Vinny, what did you see from Jaelan Phillips as like the style of moves that he was making? Because I know there were a few plays where you were really impressed.
Yeah. Oh man, his get off the ball, the dip, the way he made the QB, Jordan Love, like just the way he stepped up, and then they all look fast out there. Did you feel the same thing, Fran? They just look fast out there.
Nolan felt fast.
They just...
Maybe it's a change from what we've been watching the past couple of weeks, but they did
feel...
my
God.
Well, listen,
so when you look at all 4 of the DNs, right, just listen, you got Nolan Smith, you got Jalen Hunt, you got Jaelan Phillips.
BG.
And BG. Like, those...
Well, I mean, listen, no shade against the guy. Josh Uche was their second best pass rusher 2 weeks ago, and he didn't even get on the field tonight. That tells you how much the depth has changed from top down.
Damn.
Yeah. And look, you felt his presence, from the jump, opening series, and then late in the game. I mean, he's a big part of that 4th down stop. Lindsay, if you want to just pull up the 4th down,
and I feel like as you break this down, I feel like we are not giving this play enough attention on this. Like, this was an enormous play in the game. This is when they won the game.
And this was not just a Jaelan Phillips play either. I was sitting we're watching in the living room. Meg and I are sitting and watching, and we're quiet. We're grinding this game out at the end. And you could hear clear as day on the broadcast, Moro Ojomo calling this play out. Inside zone this way, inside zone this way, screaming inside zone. Lindsay, if you go to the first shot here, you're going to see that Moro flies off the ball. So the ball is snapped. You can see the ball is halfway to Jordan Love at this point. Moro flies off the ball, but you could hear
Vinny goes,
again,
damn.
clear as day. He's inside zone this way, inside zone this way. So he knew that this play was coming. So he wins off the ball with quickness. Now he's just trying to shoot the gap. He's just trying to wreck stuff in the backfield. So he gets off the ball, gets into the backfield. That kind of messes up that double team play side. It's supposed to be a run in that direction. Now, Lindsay, if you go to the next shot, you're going to see the other guy next to him, Jalen Carter. He bench presses the right guard and puts him completely into the backfield. So he resets the line of scrimmage. Now, if you're Josh Jacobs on this point, your left side, the play side B gap, that's completely shot. Moro Ojomo just wrecked that. Then you've got Jalen Carter. If you try to cut back, you're looking to your next gap back, and Jalen Carter has completely wrecked Jordan Morgan, your right guard. So now you got to bounce this all the way back to the tight end side, the back side, where Jaelan Phillips is. So, Lindsay, if you go to the next shot, you're going to see that Jaelan Phillips, he's got the tight end dead to rights. He's got him completely pressed down towards the hash mark. He's got complete control of this block, and he's going to get off, and he's going to make this play on the running back here. So, Lindsay, if you go to the final shot, you're going to see that he's got him wrapped up. Reed comes flying in. I watched this back time and time again. I couldn't get a great shot of exactly who poked this out. I do think that it ended up being Phillips personally.
Oh, really? I thought it was Reed.
Reed is kind of sticking his paw in there as well. So either way, both guys did an outstanding job of making sure they go for the football and they're able to get the stop there on fourth down, regardless of whether it was a fumble or not. So great job from Jaelan Phillips. But it starts with Moro Ojomo. Whether it's film study, alignment, whatever it was, like he cued off right away that was going to be a run in his direction. It was going to be inside zone. Lets the whole defense know, and then those guys just whoop them up front.
I got a question for you, Fran. When we're doing this show in 2 years, is Jalix Hunt or Ojomo the better defensive line player?
I would say my guess would be
because they're
Ojomo.
both ascending so well. Like they're on great trajectories, both of them, and they're both so young. That's why I ask. Yeah,
no, it's a good question. I think that to me, it's probably Ojomo, and obviously you'd probably rather if you have the question of which one do you want to hit their ceiling, it's probably Jalix Hunt, just because of the rare physical tools he does have, and at that position. But honestly, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Both guys, have that ability to be real game wreckers up front if they were to hit their ultimate ceiling.
We don't need to play the compare guys game. The Eagles will be happy to have all these guys on the defensive line.
Oh, it's fun to play the compare guys game.
I kind of think the more interesting question is Jalix or Nolan.
Ooh, that's a little spicier.
Well, to me, I think the Nolan thing is clouded by the fact that by the durability.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be the big question with him. And you brought that up last week, Bo, that there might be some concern, some worry about his ability to stay healthy long term. And I think that it's warranted based off what we've seen over this short sample so far, 3 years into his career.
It's also important that we give Moro the love in this tight circle of the four of us. EJ doesn't need to be a part of this.
Absolutely,
we can't acknowledge that Moro Ojomo is a good player, as far as EJ is concerned.
Look, that's the thing about. Obviously, it's a bit right, but for me, like I loved Ojomo coming out of Texas. See, so
you did. You were on him first. That's true.
Did you coin him?
Yeah. What's that?
Did you coin him?
I mean, I'm not gonna. I would never say that I coined.
You know that he was also. I mean, you know that he was also part of the core four.
Right. So you coined him then.
So EJ's frankly last to the party when it comes to Moro Ojomo. Yeah.
Well, I will ask you this though, Bo. I mean, look, we'll call a spade a spade. You've been so worried about this defense. I mean, the Eagles, the defense wins the game for the Eagles in this game.
Yeah, this is a different defense. they literally added half the league.
What about my boy Q? Huh?
Yeah. Guess what? Defense is a lot different when you add 3 players to the top of it. Of course, I feel better about the defense now.
Some of us don't forget about your Q. You came after him a little bit.
Yeah, he had a bad game against the Broncos.
He slipped.
He's allowed to have a bad game.
Back to the clamps.
Bad game might be a little bit of a stretch there.
Sorry, I have high standards for a guy who could be one of the best corners in the NFL.
He is one of the best corners.
Yeah. So you're allowed to grade him harshly. All right. Speaking of impressive young players, Jahad Campbell, this is such a fascinating thing to me. He has been very good this year, and yet he has been essentially demoted to a part-time player, playing like 2 series at a time, playing on the edge, and it's not because he hasn't played well. It's just because Nakobe Dean has deserved it. It seems like. What did you see from Nakobe tonight and on that sack fumble?
Yeah, I mean, Nakobe flashed, from the jump. He was all around the football. Obviously, Green Bay, they come out. They want to be able to assert their dominance in the run game. They want to be able to get Josh Jacobs going. And so this was going to be a Nakobe Dean game, and Nakobe showed up. I mean, he is seeing things so fast. And I think that's always something that's going to help him. And I think when you're looking at how just his ability to play fast downhill, play with ferocity, play with violence, that's one of the best things he does. And I think that showed up. And then him as a blitzer tonight as well. There were a couple times where he didn't hold his water great. He got caught a little bit late in the pre-snap phase. They were able to reset the protection, but he also had the sack fumble in the first half as well, which I know is a play we're going to break down. But Nakobe Flash. It's tough, man. Like I don't envy the position that they're in, but you also I would love Jahad Campbell to be a full-time player. So it's a tough call to make, certainly.
I have it. True Media has it at 14.5% blitz rate from Vic in this game, which is towards the lower end for the Eagles under Vic. It felt like a good amount of those sim pressures though, just by the naked eye.
Yeah, a lot of sim pressures. I don't have the exact numbers on those, but Jordan Love. I mean, this was the third highest pressure rate for the Eagles in this season in this game, and it was the second highest pressure rate for Jordan Love in the game this season. I mean, they peppered him with defenders around him throughout the course of the night. I think when you're looking at obviously some of that was pure one-on-one wins from the guys inside or from off the edge. Jaelan Phillips, gets home on that bull rush that impacts Jordan Love, allows Jalen Hunt to get home. You had the stunt where Nolan Smith on a long stunt came flying through the A-gap and delivered a big hit. You saw the linebackers involved as well. So yeah, they found a lot of different ways to be able to impact Jordan Love throughout the course of this game.
Right. When you watch the film, I guarantee you when Jordan Love was watching that film and he's counting how many going through his reads and counting how many seconds that before the pass rush get home. I bet he ain't think that his clock was going to get sped up tonight the way it got sped up. Because let's be honest, all of us ain't think the pass rush was going to look the way it looked tonight. So that goes to show you that you like you said, they was winning their one-on-ones. We talked about winning one-on-ones. Everybody made their rep count. Every single person that got in that game tonight made their rep count.
How does Jalen Carter look to you?
I felt he did. I felt like he did his job.
Okay.
When you got that much speed coming off the edge like that, it was able for him to just bench press his one guy and put a hand up, and that's why he knocked down 2 passes tonight.
At least 2.
But the pass rush and the step up was happening so freaking fast. I don't even think he had time to even shed his guy. But
so we're gonna see the best version of Jalen Carter now with some speed on the edge.
Hell yeah, yes. And then with the time is split, I think we're gonna see the best version of Jaelan Hunt, Nolan Smith. Because now when we talk about sense of urgency, remember early in the season we talked about sense of urgency. Oh, it's some fire lit under some asses now. Spending that time like that, and that everybody's like, what do Stout say? Hungry dogs run faster.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the puppy saying, "Hold on, wait for me." You don't want to be that guy.
I like that. All right, let's break down that Nakobe sack, Fran.
Yeah, Lindsay, this will be just Nakobe won. Yeah, so basically what you get, and this is honestly one of the things about just dropping in Jaelan Phillips and dropping in Nolan Smith to this front is that, look, you can get on the whiteboard and talk through stuff and you look at the X's and O's, but this is where the Jimmies and Joes can have an impact on things. And when you've got Jalen Carter and Jaelan Phillips off to one side, that's going to draw extra attention. You're going to draw the offensive line to slide in that way more often than not. And if you can become predictable and enforce, I should say, if you can force an offensive line to be predictable with their protection call, well, now you can go into attack mode as a defensive coordinator. And we've seen Vic Fangio do that throughout the course of the season. So here on this play, again, you've got Jalen Carter and Jaelan Phillips circled here. Now they're going to slide the protection in that way. Lindsay, if you go to the next shot here, you're going to see that you've got the slide going that way, but then also you've got Moro Ojomo slanting inside to the A gap. And basically what that's doing is it's kind of like parting the seas. You're going to have Jalix Hunt at the top. He is working vertically upfield. You're creating a nice wide alley for Nakobe Dean to blitz here from depth. And so by Morrow sliding inside and Jalix staying outside, now you are basically isolating Nakobe Dean one-on-one with the running back. And you're viewing that as a win. And honestly, in this instance, it was a big win for the Eagles. Lindsay, if you go to the next shot, you're going to see that Nakobe blows up Josh Jacobs, just completely rocks him on first contact. Jacobs is turned parallel to the sideline here. Nakobe's got eyes on Jordan Love, and he does a great job. Vinny, I'd love to get what you guys would call the coaching point here on attacking the quarterback, because he goes right at the breastplate and he just wraps him up. Lindsay, if you go to the next shot here, this ends up being the sack fumble. He doesn't go low. He doesn't go high. He goes right at the breastplate, right at the numbers here, and just rakes his arms right through where the ball is. And so now that leads to the ball getting kind of jostled as he's going up to reach the throw. Watching it live, I'm like, oh, this is going to be incomplete. And then you watch the replay and you're like, yeah, he had zero control. He's trying to throw this ball, but he had no control of it whatsoever. And that's because of Nakobe's ability to make sure he goes up through where the ball, or through the carriage point there of the quarterback. But again, this free run was created by that front alignment. You knew what the protection call was likely to be. You sent the blitzer in that way to get him one-on-one with the running back. He takes advantage of the one-on-one, and then he gets home and makes the play. It was a really well scripted, really well designed, and well executed across the board.
And then that still shot, you see both the edges cost a step up, hitting the blitz, and you see what Jalen Carter is. I said he didn't have enough time to even shed his guard. The shit was happening so fast. Good job, Fran.
All right, Fran, what are you going to be most looking forward to seeing when you are able to turn on the tape before tomorrow's 2 o'clock PHLY Eagles show?
I think it will be the defense. I might write on the Jaelan Phillips, like maybe take a look at all of his stuff. He obviously was very active in the game, so that might be what I write off of. But I'm definitely more excited to watch the defense, honestly, after what they did against this Packers offense tonight.
Man, Jalen, man, yo, he brought the juice.
You're right.
When we talk about sense of urgency, I'm just excited for that, because we were sitting here a couple weeks ago pissed. Like, yo, where's the sense of urgency at? Like,
yeah,
tonight you seen it, and then let me just be honest, this is going to light some fire under some people's butts, man. Shit is. I'm excited for it.
Why is that?
Because, like I said, you don't want to be the guy and come Monday or Tuesday when you're watching that film after the games, you don't want to be the guy that don't look like you're flying around or flying off the ball, because now it's going to be exposed with the pass rush help and the guys being back. You don't want to be that guy.
Makes sense.
And if BG's coming back, and Fran, I don't know what your just like gut live reactions were. Watching it live, we were like,
that's some good rushes.
He's getting off the line quick. His timing was good, and he had a couple bull rushes where he still got some grown-ass man strength.
Yeah.
So if you're a young guy and you're watching BG come in off the street and perform well right away, it's got to be motivating.
Yeah, I would think so. And you know that he's going to be given that motivation from the sideline and in the film room as well. So you know that BG is going to bring that. Troy Aikman, this close to giving the podcast some pub.
I know.
I
literally yelled. I was like, come on, production crew,
Troy.
Where's the podcast? Shout out.
Unbelievable. All right, best of the business. Fran Duffy, thank you so much. We'll talk to you on the PHLY Eagles show tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Thanks for joining us on
Sounds
the
good, guys.
Fran's
All right,
Film Room,
Fran.
presented by Ashley.